Good afternoon and welcome to Premier League Live for our second game of our Sunday doubleheader action here on LFS this afternoon. And we're at Craven Cottage for this one as Fulham take on Manchester United. Both sides looking for their first Premier League wins of the season. Fulham, a late equaliser away at Brighton last week from Rodrigo Muniz, and Man United drawing a blank with their new look attacking line against Arsenal at Old Trafford. Both want to get off the mark and get that first win in the win column, but we'll see if they can do that this afternoon. Already today we have seen Crystal Palace and Nottingham Forest not able to find anything against each other. 1-1 it finished there at Sellers Park, and Everton in the new stadium 2-0 winners against Brighton. But it is Fulham against Man United to round off our Sunday action here in LFS on match week 2 of the season. And here are the teams. Starting with Fulham, Bernd Leno starts in goal. A back four of Kenny Tete, Joachim Andersen, Calvin Bassey and Timothy Castagna. In midfield, Sasa Lukic is alongside Sander Berger. Young Josh King comes in at the 10. Ryan Sessegnon on the right-hand side. Alex Iwobi off the left. And Rodrigo Muniz, the extra time hero, the added time hero last week, he starts up front. On the bench, Lecomte, Cuenca, Robinson, Reid, Kearney, Wilson, Smith Rowe, Traore and Raul Jimenez for Fulham. For Manchester United, all the talk about the goalkeeping position during the week. Are they going to recruit a new one? Well, it's two old boys in the squad today. It's Altay Bayindir, who keeps his position in the side in the starting lineup after his little bit of a mistake against Arsenal last week. They've gone for a back three, the same back three that started that win, or that defeat to Arsenal last week. Lenny Yoro, Matthias de Ligt and Luke Shaw in a back three. Amad Diallo comes in at right wing back ahead of Diogo Dalot, and Patrick Dorgu continues at left wing back. In the midfield, Casemiro alongside captain Bruno Fernandes. Mason Mount is alongside Matheus Cunha and Brian Mbeumo in an unchanged front line for Manchester United. On the bench, Onana, Dalot, Heaven, Maguire, Frederiksen, Mainu, Ugarte, Šeško and Xerxes. It is Fulham against Manchester United. As I said, both want to get their first wins of the season. Well, they'll find out if they can. Kick-off at Craven Cottage is next. A very good afternoon and welcome to Premier League Live once again. If you're joining us after that win over Everton's win over Brighton a little earlier in our earlier stream, thank you very much for staying with us. And also, if you're not and you're here to enjoy this one with us, thank you so much for being with us this evening. We're looking forward to this tonight, and this is going to be a great end to the Sunday afternoon of action that we have for you. Manchester United have a great record away at Fulham, but both sides know a win is a bit of a must in their second game of the season. Fulham, their first home game of the season here at Craven Cottage, and at times can be a real difficult place to go for any Premier League side, that is. But all the talk and all the conversation about Man United throughout this week has been about those in goal and the goalkeeping position. Will be a chat we will continue to talk about throughout the afternoon and throughout the rest of this transfer window, which just has 8 days left before the deadline shuts. Sasa Lukic is in the centre circle. He's the one that's going to get us underway here at Craven Cottage as Fulham face Manchester United, both in their home strips. Fulham in all white with black trimmings, Man United in red shirts and black shorts as we get going here in West London. Looking forward to this one this afternoon, and Fulham are in early. Iwobi putting the ball towards the box, and that's gone out for a goal kick inside the first 15 seconds there. We're not showing the main match, no. because I would one, get jailed, and two, this channel would get shut down. So unfortunately we can't do that for you, but we can give you everything that we possibly can that isn't the main game. That's as best as we can offer you. There's Rodrigo Muniz there. Felt he was fouled by De Ligt. Man United send the ball over the top, and Joachim Andersen can just head that back to his goalkeeper, Bernd Leno. Manchester United started last week all the positivity about their performance against Arsenal, but they failed to convert against David Raya. Oh, that was a cheap giveaway there early by Fulham in the midfield, and Fernandes. And now here's a chance! And the shot's over the bar by Matheus Cunha from a long ranger there. Came from a Fulham mistake. They give it away cheaply in the midfield. It was a reverse ball, I think, here by Ryan Sessegnon. It was just given away cheaply. Man United pick it up with Fernandes. Fernandes rolled it through, finding Cunha around about the edge of the D, and he has a good shot at it, but he just can't keep the shot down. Matheus Cunha, who did massively perform and was impressive last week in his build-up play, his play between the lines, and how he got Man United from back to front on such a consistent basis. That's a nice link up there between Dorgu and Mount on the reverse, and here's Matheus Cunha hit the post, and Burmo and Ahmad cleared away by Fulham. Man United on the out of the blocks quickly here. As Wolby dispossessed, no fouls as the referee. Here's Cunha and then Burmo, and he's run out of space there to try and break through. Well, Matheus Cunha in the first 2 minutes here has had a shot over the bar and hit the right post. Very much all over Fulham in the first few minutes here, Man United. It's a good right through the legs of Calvin Bassey there, that shot, and it came crashing off the right post. Leno at full stretch had no chance. Man United have started quite impressively. They started really well against Arsenal at Old Trafford last week. I remember watching the game, and they started really well in the first 5-10 minutes, Man United, and then from the corner it kind of sucker punched them, that Arsenal goal last week. Running riot in the midfield there, Man United. Winning the ball back. Mount. Casemiro will just drop it back to Luke Shaw. They've almost exclusively had a lot of the ball, Manchester United. It's a little bit wayward, but Casemiro mops it up. Fernandes back to Lenny Yoro. He's going for the long diagonal. Dorgu the targets, and Castagna sees that one out for a Man United throw on the left hand side. Really positive start for Man United. There's a long ball from the back. It's one run from Dorgu as he stayed onside. Flag stays down as he crosses it, and it hits the outside netting as he tried to whip it in. Flag did stay down from what I could tell. Is he onside? He angles his run really, really well. I think he's just onside. I think it's the left back, Kenny Tete, or is it? Yeah, it might be Kenny Tete that plays him onside, and Patrick Dorgu there angled his run well. Almost found a way in. Early doors there. Ruben Amorim, Man United boss, said before the game about the positives from last week, but he says it doesn't take away from the fact that you're expected to win at Manchester United. And that's the statement, that's the message he seems to be delivering to his players, that yes, their performance was positive, but the result certainly wasn't, and it was a defeat nonetheless. Whether they performed well or not was irrelevant. It was about the result. That was all what mattered. Well, Ruben Amorim suffered 15 Premier League defeats in his first 28 games as Man United manager. He's won just 7 of those games, drawn 6. Tottenham are the only side to lose more games since Amorim's first game in charge, and Tottenham have lost 17 since Ruben Amorim was appointed. So it's not good reading there, the Man United boss, but wants to turn that around. No better way than to do it here this afternoon. Fulham getting a few touches on the ball here. Bassey. Back to Leno. Now to Kenny Tete down the right side. He will flick it forward. Munich trying to hold up the ball. Goes down again under a challenge from De Ligt, but the referee again says it's a fair challenge. And it's not a foul. Diallo to Yoro. Now De Ligt to Luke Shaw. Mbeumo battling, having to go back the way to Lenny Yoro, and all the way back to the Man United keeper Altabayindir. But Calvin Bassey's gone down here. A little bit of a collision with Brandon Mbeumo a few minutes ago, so will be a stoppage here. Yes, but Mbeumo just tries to hold off Calvin Bassey. He's got his right hand just kind of glides across the face of Bassey, just catches him in the eye a little bit, unfortunately. It's been a very positive first few minutes for Man United. 3 shots already in the game. They've hit the woodwork. They've fired over the bar. Matheus Cunha's been very heavily involved in these early moments of this game. And, Calvin Bassey's asking the referee why it's not a foul. Referee Chris Kavanagh saying that it wasn't a foul, it was completely accidental, and it was accidental. I don't think Calvin Bassey's too happy with that explanation, but that is the explanation from the referee, and Marco Silva's not happy either, but you see the replay, it was just an accident more than anything. Certainly was not a foul. Right. And he's still talking to the assistant there, Calvin Bassey, as well, so he's continuing that conversation with the referee's assistant. As Man United get the game back underway again. Here's Lenny Yoro. And Calvin Bassey, having received treatment, is off the field at the moment. And a ball for Man United all the way through. And Bernletta will let it go for a goal kick. Well, Calvin Bassey's getting impatient on the sideline. He wants to come back on. And now he is waved back on by the referee, Chris Kavanagh. Weren't too happy there for a second. Was the Fulham crowd. And they will have a goal kick. Leno to send it long. Down that right flank. Bouncing ball. It's too hot for Timothy Castagna to get anywhere near, and that's gone for a throw to Manchester United. Some ball there. Switched across by Man United. Here's Amad Diallo down the right. Brandon Mbeumo onto the ball. He's got bodies running into the box. Plays it to Amad, who was well challenged there by Ryan Sessegnon. And that's going to be a goal kick to Fulham. It's a good combination down that side between Sessegnon and Amad Diallo and Mbeumo, but Ryan Sessegnon did really well for Fulham. Covered that area pretty well. Well, we know what the issues were for Manchester United last season. And Fulham almost messing about at the back there. Shaw trying to go down the left-hand side, but he run into trouble in Kenny Tete, who was brought down by Shaw, and that's going to be a free kick to Fulham. Bruno Fernandes arguing his team's corner. The referee says nothing about it. We see that chance for Man United again. Again, Fernandes forcing Leno into a decent save down to his right side. Save nonetheless. That's going to be a free kick there by Casemiro. They left one in on a Fulham player down the left side there in Sessegnon. Another free kick to Fulham. As we see already, Man United with 4 shots, one of them on target. That one from Fernandez, their first on target. They didn't have a shot for quite a while in the game against Arsenal. And Fulham without a shot registered so far in the first 11 minutes here. They've got the ball up the field this time though. Here's Iwobi. Inside to Berger. Switching it out wide. Tested down by Castagna. Now Kenny Tete. He will have to work it back to Joachim Andersen, who goes all the way back to Bernd Leno. It's good pressing off the ball there from Man United. Forcing Fulham backwards. Here's Tete. To get Fulham back up the fields. The fullback. He's got nowhere really to run and has to return it back to Sasa Lukic. Welcome in, Mep. Sorry if I missed your chat there. Thank you very much. Welcome in. Great to have you with us for this one. Thank you very much for joining us. Anderson with a switch ball. Again, tried it out wide to Timothy Castagna, but just too much on that occasion. And will be another Man United throw deep in their own half. Torgu a little bit loose in possession, allows Fulham to win it back down the right hand side here. They've worked it back into midfield. Sander Berger. Nice Sessegnon. Trying to roll it in behind. That's a nice run. Back across. Being there with a good save with his left foot. That was good work from the keeper, but young Josh King had made the run in behind. There's a lovely weighted ball by Ran Sessegnon. Really good idea. And the keeper, Altay Bayindir, had to come out, and he did come out with a lot of pace. There's another long, deep cross, and that was too close to Altay Bayindir that time, who gathered comfortably. But that was lovely little ball. Was he onside? He was just onside. He held his run perfectly there. Sessegnon with a great through ball, and Josh King making the run off the back of the United defence in one-on-one. Trying to roll it round the keeper. And in the end, blocked by the left foot of Altay Bayindir, who was criticised for his mistake last week in not really commanding his area from the Arsenal corner. That's the goal that ultimately lost Manchester United the game. That's a lovely ball forward. Here's a chance. What a save by Leno. Mateus Cunha was in, and a great save by Leno denies him. What a ball by Bayindir. See this again. Fulham push really high, and then as the kick comes from Bayindir, Cunha's right off the back of Joachim Andersen. He's onside as he takes the kick, and he takes the strike at goal, and Bernd Leno parries it wide. Corner to Man United. And Burma will take right hand side. There's a dip off the pitch here. Left footed delivery by Burma. Cleared away at the front post. Hamad switches it back round to Mbermo at the corner flag, and he's not got himself back on side in time there, Brian Mbermo, who just on that occasion told Hamad, maybe just wait an extra second to let me get back on side. But we see this again. Altay Bayindir right up the route of Fulham's defence, and Mateus Cunha right off the back of Andersen, out-muscles him, gets a little bit of space, beautiful little first touch, and then has the strike with his left foot in the air on the half volley. And Bernd Leno makes a good save to deny him. Both goalkeepers called into action in the first quarter of an hour here at Craven Cottage, but both coming out on top against their opposing attacks. Given away cheaply down the right here by United in Ahmad. And here come Fulham down the left side, and it's going to be a block that will see it out for a corner to Fulham off Ahmad. And you see this again down this right hand side. Ahmad tried to backheel it, get away from his man, and it was a good run by Sessegnon. Breaks into the box, and then he gets the last touch off Ahmad, and that is a Fulham corner. Sasa Lukic is going to come over and take this corner for Fulham. Their first of the game. And a chance for them to do what Arsenal did to United last week. Score from their first corner of the game. Right-footed delivery, flicked on at the near post, way by Caoimhan, and then the follow-up forces Bayindir into a save, and that just crosses the byline as it goes out for another corner. See this again, it's the second phase of the corner for Man United this time. It's cleared away at the front post by Matheus Cunha, but on the edge of the box, Alex Iwobi's there, he hits it on the volley, and it's Altay Bayindir full stretch to his right-hand side, has to make the save off the ball bounces, and he parries it wide. It goes for another Fulham corner. Lukic to take again. Right-footed, a bit more height in this one, over the top of the keeper! And the header's gone wide from Caoimhan Ferris. Again, keeper is nowhere to be seen, Altay Bayindir. He got completely dominated. We'll see it again. Crowded out, completely dominated, not strong enough. He's like a headless chicken. It's Sander Berge, and then he gets away from him. And he loses his balance, tries to follow the ball, and he sees it out. But the keeper was really a passenger in everything that was happening there. And Caoimhan Ferris got a free header to it. He just couldn't get it on target. And it goes for a goal kick, but another slight glimpse of the lack of commanding that Altay Bayindir has over his 60-18 yard box. Certainly a 6 yard box anyway from corners. There's a man, Andre Onana, who was very heavily criticised for the mistakes he made between the sticks for United last season. There has been a few calls, a lot of calls from the United fans that they do need recruitment in that area of the field, that what they have isn't good enough for them. We saw the mistakes that both Altay Bayindir and Andre Onana committed last season. Dorgu to take this throw. It's been a decent last few minutes for Fulham. Man United want to get back to where they were in the first 10-15 minutes of this game, in control and on the front foot. Here's Shaw. Mount. Back to Shaw down this left-hand side. He tries to go down the line, but well blocked there by Josh King, who's applauded by Marco Silva. And Shaw goes back to Bayindir, who gets rid of it quickly. And that forces them to put it out of play. That's good pressing from Fulham, forcing Manchester United into a mistake. And that will win Fulham a throw down this right side. Kenny Tete lays it inside, nicely held up there by Muniz. Lays it out wide for Castagna. It was well challenged by Luke Shaw, and a flick over the top from the throw-in. Lukic tries the cross, wins a corner off De Ligt. Much better from Fulham, much sharper, much quicker, moving the ball better. And they win a corner here on this right-hand side. Joseph Roux, thank you so much. Welcome to the Captain's Club. Thank you so much for joining as a member. Great to have you with us. And when we get our members going, and we'll have some members videos coming out throughout the season of extra bits of in-depth analysis, as well as of course some LFS reacts that we'll be doing across international breaks as well. So looking forward to those. Thank you very much for coming to the members club. Corner delivered in, way at the front post. Acuna back inside it goes from Lukic, bouncing around. It's not cleared away as Ahmad pumps it long. And Burmo battling with the Fulham defenders to win the ball. He doesn't win that challenge, and the ball falls for Castagna down the right here. Had to force it inside to Kenny Tete, but gives it away cheaply there. And there's going to be a free kick here, fouled by Kenny Tete on Bruno Fernandes. Free kick to Manchester United. You see it again. Casemiro finds Fernandes, and then Castagna just steps back inside and catches Fernandes a little late. It's definitely a foul. Trying to be more direct, Manchester United. I'm seeing a lot of that so far in this game. Playing those longer balls, trying to move the ball quicker in the final third. Bassi. Anderson. Inside it goes to Lukic. Now back to Bassi. He will switch it out to the left-hand side for Sessegnon. Iwobi. He will go for the cross, and that one is into the box, but it's again too close to the Man United keeper, who rolls it out to Modeste Cunha here. Man United try and build up from the back. Joseph says my bet's on is Fulham or draw, £1.20. Much will it return you if you get that one up, Joseph? And Burmo. Back to Delict. Now Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw played in that back three last week and actually looked really comfortable at playing left centre-back last week for Manchester United. And actually when he came off, they looked a little bit shakier at the back. Did Man United. Looked a little less coherent when building up from the back. And, you know, that was where the issues lay. But Luke Shaw looking positive. Of course, he's had his injury problems. He's had his issues. Not being able to be in the United squad. And he's back in the squad and back starting at left centre-back for 2 games in a row. So far, he started pretty well here. 4-6. It's not awful. It's still, if it comes through, you won't be complaining. You have to get something. Here's Brian Mbeumo up against Calvin Bassey, battling for the ball down that right side. And it forces Mbeumo to try and play the ball back. And he played it outside the confines of the field of play. That will be a throw into Fulham. That new motto, bet small is best. Yeah, 100%. Fair enough. Well, Man United have a very good record when coming to Craven Cottage. They've won each of their last 8 away games against Fulham in the Premier League. Almost in here. Bassey does just enough to get it away. They have never won 9 in a row, though, against any opponent in their history, Man United. So that's a good one. That's a good stat for you. If they win here today, they will win 9 in a row against the club for the very first time in the club's history. They've only conceded 3 goals on trips to Fulham. 18 goals scored in their last 8 games, so Fulham don't often have any joy against Man United when they come to town. Shaw. Back here to Matthijs de Ligt. And one thing I have noticed that was really quite intriguing that Man United didn't really do last season, which I thought was really naive and really silly from them, was last season when they played this back 3/back 5 system. Ruben Amorim wants them to play that 3-4-3 or 3-4-2-1 or 3-4-1-2, whatever it kind of is and what way it links up. But essentially a 3-4-3 to its rawest form. Their back 3 were very narrow last season. What I've seen so far is they're spreading the pitch wider. You've got the central defender in Matthijs de Ligt right in the middle, and then you've got the 2 kind of wide centre-backs as kind of inside full-backs, which is where they should be in a back 3. There's width, there's good spread across the pitch, which allows your wing-backs to get forward and to sit in that space where they want to be, to move forward, to progress the attacks in the wide areas. But it also allows you to have cover across the field. Where Man United were getting caught out a lot last season was they had a very narrow back 3, which meant there was space not only in the wide areas, which kept the wing backs exposed, and the wing backs were very attacking, so therefore they weren't as good defending, and that's where they were getting caught out, being very narrow. Whereas add the width, and midfielders can drop in if they need to help you out, rather than making a very crowded, narrow pitch that makes you very exposed in wide areas. So the width of the back 3 is exactly what it should be for Man United. And that's what I've kind of noticed in the Arsenal game, but also here so far this afternoon, is it's a very well-balanced back 3 in terms of their positions to each other. That's a switch ball in from the wide area. It's come away from the box. It's Iwobi, keeps it alive. It's Sessegnon across. Good block in there by Yoro. And he sends it flying up the field. There's Mbeumo battling against Bassey. And Mbeumo comes out the better on that occasion. Free kick to Manchester United. 25 minutes gone here. Still goalless at Craven Cottage. took Fulham to the 96th minute to score last weekend. Man United haven't opened their account for the season just yet. They are one of only a number of teams, one of only 4 teams to have not scored so far this season. Albeit 2 of those other 3 teams have played 2 games. Only one of them, other than Man United, have only played 1 to this point. And that's Newcastle, who failed to score last week against Villa. So they want to take themselves out of that little exclusive group. Aston Villa and Wolves are the 2 that haven't scored from their opening 2 Premier League games of the season. Wolves have lost both, and Villa have drawn 1 and lost 1. And only conceded 1 goal after the 0-0 draw with Newcastle in the opening weekend and a 1-0 defeat yesterday to Brentford. And United also in that list of teams that haven't scored. They want to change that, and soon, and they want to change that today. Sessegnon bundling over Ahmad. This gets them a free kick again from Man United. And the possession's been pretty even so far. 54% in Man United's favour, 46% for Fulham. The shots are pretty even as well, 5-5. Both goalkeepers have made 2 saves. Both have had a big chance. I mean, it's very even on that balance of things, stats-wise. In terms of shots on target, they both have 2 shots on target. So it is as even as it can be between these 2 at the minute. Very well matched in the first 27 minutes of this game. Here's Fernandez, swinging one out to the far left, but that one certainly was swinging. It was a long ranger. Too much for Patrick Dorgu to get anywhere near. And there's going to be a throw into Fulham. Ruben Amorim not happy with his team there. Giving up possession a little bit sillily. Sillily? Cheaply. Unnecessarily? That's a better word. A lovely kick and a nice turn by Josh King, and he just couldn't hold on to the ball on that occasion, which allows Man United to retrieve with their back line. Here's Ahmad down the right hand side, not blasting forward on that occasion. Ahmad linking up with his captain, and then goes back to Lenny Yoro. Delict across to Shaw, finds it into Mount, back to Shaw, and now Dorgu moving it better United, but nicely intercepted by the youngster King. And Tete down the right side, trying to find Castagna, who wins the throw there off Casemiro. Throw in for Fulham down this right hand side. Tete back to Anderson. Joachim Anderson has had a haircut. He's gone full, complete shave. A buzz cut from Joachim Anderson, which is a bold style. It's Fulham again trying to work it between the lines, and they were a little bit loose there as Sasa Lukic tried to win it back. Just catching Dorgu. Well, these 2 met in the FA Cup last season, and Fulham went to Old Trafford in the FA Cup last season, round 5, and won on penalties in that one. Both teams scored each of their first 3 penalties. Victor Lindelof's penalty was saved. Robinson scored the 4th for Fulham, and then Joshua Zirkzee had his penalty saved as well, meaning Fulham progressed and knocked Man United, who were the holders of the FA Cup at the time, knocked them out of the competition in March of last season. So they have picked up a victory against United there. And actually, funnily enough for Fulham, their last 2 victories, including that one over Man United, have both come at Old Trafford. The only other victory in recent times for Fulham against United was a 2-1 win at Old Trafford back in February of 2024. Well, they won 2-1 on that day. And Calvin Bassey and Alex Iwobi, who both start in the Fulham side today, were on the score sheet. Harry Maguire got the Man United goal on that day. He's on the bench for United today. Here is Calvin Bassey, 30 minutes gone at Craven Cottage. Still goalless. Fulham have probably had the better of it in the last 10 minutes, but it was a blistering start for Man United. They couldn't find the net in those early moments. Here's Sasa Lukic. Out wide to Sessegnon. Comes back inside, gives it to Lukic again, and now Anderson down the right hand side to Castagna. Back inside to Lukic, who seems to be conducting all of this. As he tries to play it back out wide to Castagna, he just overhits it there, Lukic. Gotta say, one of my favourite names to ever say, Sasa Lukic, as they win it back again, Fulham. The deflected ball was in behind the Man United defence, but one that Altay Bayindir was very alert to. When we talk about Man United having to go into the transfer market for some upgrades, of course, a couple of their new signings in force today. Obviously, Brian Mbeumo and Mateus Cunha, the two highest profile. Benjamin Šeško on the bench for United as well. They're also looking for a new midfielder and a goalkeeper as what they want to recruit between now and next Monday's deadline. Here they work it between the lines. Bruno Fernandes across. Good block by Calvin Bassey to see it out. And that will be a Man United corner on the left-hand side. It was good work from Fernandes. He broke away from his midfield and he made the run in behind the Fulham defence. The gap was there. It was a nice reverse ball by Mount. And Fernandes just tried to drive it across the edge of the 6-yard box, and Calvin Bassey got his body in the way and cleared it behind for the corner. And Bruno Fernandes, who won the corner, will take the corner. Right-footed, it's deep. It's to the back post, and it's headed back across goal. Two Fulham players down, but the referee sees no foul, and ball comes to Fernandes, who flicks it back in. Away again by Fulham. And Mbeumo, lovely, finding Fernandes, who tried to feed it down the line for Mbeumo, but that was well watched by Castagna, who intercepts. And Fulham able to recover from that corner for Man United. Here's Iwobi. Space for Fulham to try and exploit down the left here if they can. Sir Sander Berg finding to Sessegnon. And now Lukic. Iwobi. Fulham on the move. Combining well down this left flank. Lukic out wide to Sessegnon. Bodies back for Man United in defence. Amad Diallo, the one that comes right up against Sessegnon and wins the ball back off of him right on the edge of his own box. Well, we said about Fulham and their recruitment, they've just made one permanent signing this summer. Signing Benjamin Lecomte from Montpellier for just £415,000. A 34-year-old Frenchman that comes in after 30 matches in Ligue 1 last season. He is a goalkeeper, of course, Benjamin Lecomte, but Fulham, well, certainly Marco Silva has mentioned over the last few days that he needs a bit of help in the market. Wants a bit of extra bodies for his squad, and we'll see. Well, there's an issue here that they're going to check for a possible penalty here, VAR. Chris Cavan has been called to the screen. We'll see this again. So it's Bernd Leno. It's a penalty check for Man United. Whether there's a foul in there, it's a real lot of chaos at the back post. I don't know what this is all about. I really can't see it. Is it Calvin Bassey or is it Alex Iwobi? Can't quite see, and it's a throw. He throws Mason Mount round. I mean, it's really clumsy. He's just kind of dragging Mason Mount around the box. I get battling and trying to keep and fight for the ball, but he kind of swings Mason Mount around like he's doing a dance with him. I mean, he ragdolls him around the 6-yard box there, Calvin Bassey. The referee's taking a very close look at this from the monitor. Darren England, by the way, is the VAR who recommended an on-field review. And the referee, Chris Cavan, has made his mind up and he's going to announce it to the crowd. Let's hear what he has to say. Penalty to Manchester United. And it was clear whenever he went to the screen, whenever you seen the challenge. I mean, he drags Mason Mount around the box, and you're not going to get away with that. I get he has to fight to win the ball. I get that he has to battle with his marker. But at the same time, he grips the back of Mason Mount and swings him from his left-hand side right round to his right-hand side. I mean, it's really, really clumsy. Throws him out of the way, drags him around, and then it's a real chaos after that. But it's really poor from Calvin Bassey. A strong physical defender, but on that occasion, far too much was made of that. And it's going to be a penalty to Man United. Marco Silva giggled when the decision was called. Well, he might not be giggling if Man United convert this. Bruno Fernandes up against Bernd Leno. We saw a penalty save earlier this afternoon on the banks of the River Mersey. We're on the banks of the River Thames. It's Bruno Fernandes up against Bernd Leno. Although Fernandes has lifted the ball. I don't know what he's complaining about. He's not happy. Bernd Leno's been told to go back to his goal line. And all less remonstrating. I mean, well, Bruno Fernandes started it. He lifted the ball and then tried to walk away. I don't know what was going on there. He wasn't happy with something, but no need to pull a strop. Penalty to Man United then. Bruno Fernandes up against Bernd Leno. Fernandes has a very good record from the spot. Is it going to be a hop, a skip and a jump? Bruno Fernandes, a little run up, and skies it over the bar. He might have got in his own head there, Bruno Fernandes. He wipes his face with his shirt in mere disbelief. And the Fulham crowd cheer like they've scored a goal. He absolutely skied it. That's gone into the Thames behind the stand there. It's gone that high. Absolute ballooned it. I mean, Bernd Leno could have stood there and laughed at him and he still would have seen it go over the bar. I mean, what was the mind games there from Bruno Fernandes? He lifted the ball, he tried to turn away, talked to the referee. I mean, he got in his own head there. Coolness and composure. I don't think they're two words that was in Bruno Fernandes' dictionary, because he doesn't know how to do it. Certainly on that occasion. And that was a very bad miss. But now here come Manchester United looking to make up for that penalty miss. Here's Ahmad down the right side, plays it inside to Mount. Mount trying to find Mbeumo, who's held off well by the Fulham defenders. As Casemiro tries to win it back. And he's actually going to see a free kick go against him here, Casemiro. And he's going to get a yellow card for simulation. Well, that is far from ideal for Manchester United over the last 90 seconds or so. Missing a penalty and then a midfielder booked for simulation. I mean, there was no contact there whatsoever. Went down like an old age pensioner in an old people's home there, did Casemiro. And he got a yellow card for that. I mean, I don't know what he was expecting the referee to give there. It was diving in simulation. At least make sure it looks like you were challenged. And Fulham certainly winning the mental battle here at the moment. Here's Ryan Sessegnon down the left-hand side. Rolls it through. Iwobi's cut in behind. He gets it across. And whether Bayindir got something to that or not, it hits the side netting. And Iwobi's actually ended up towards the advertising hoardings here. See it again. Lovely through ball by Sessegnon. Cuts on the inside. Waits for Iwobi to break round the outside. And then he chips it across the box. Iwobi. Does Bayindir does get something to this? He does. He palms it behind for a corner. But all worried about Alex Iwobi's well-being here for the moment, as he is held back to his feet by Matthijs de Ligt and Rodrigo Muniz, who are sure happy to see him back on his feet, because as he whipped that ball and he lost his balance, Iwobi off the field and crashed against the advertising hoardings. It's good to see that he's up and okay. But we see this penalty again. This is why Bruno Fernandes... I cannot believe this. Bruno Fernandes lifted the ball because the referee bumped into him before the penalty was being taken. I mean, that's ridiculous. If there's ever a reason to be an app... What? I mean, I was right. He got in his own head, Bruno Fernandes. Corner to Fulham. Right footed delivery. Inside. Away from Bayindir. Oh, and a diver at the back there. Rodrigo Muniz was trying to head it in. Bayindir again. No man's land. A deer in headlights once more. Again, the ball comes up. He tries to put his arm at it. He's about a yard away. Being held off by a Fulham player. I mean, they need to sort this, Man United, and quick, because that's 2 out of the 3 Fulham corners where Altay Bayindir has just been a little bit pressured by a Fulham player and completely outmuscled. His physicality is a real issue. And teams are going to keep putting pressure on him. They're going to keep doing it to him, because they know it's going to work and they're going to get something out of it. Mount, lovely little dummy. Lays it out wide here to Patrick Dorgu. Dorgu back inside to Mount. And they have to work it back to Shaw. Mason Mount again. Fernandes. I mean, he's talking to players while he's got the ball on his feet. Have they completely lost their heads? I mean, Bruno Fernandes is giving instructions to his teammates while he's got the ball at his feet. And the Fulham player just comes and nips it away from him. I mean, are they all on drugs or something? What's going on? I can't believe what I've just seen. Jesus God. Throw in to Fulham down the right hand side. 2.5 minutes of the first half to go. Still 0-0 here at Craven Cottage. Bruno Fernandes missing from the penalty spot. That's the closest Man United have come to finding the nets, and Fulham have had a couple of opportunities from corners. So there's going to be a foul here by Mason Mount, and that's going to be a free kick to Fulham high up on the right hand side. Ruben Amorim will have a lot to say to his team at half time. First one has to be just concentrate. Calm down. Gone all frantic, Man United, in the last 5 minutes, and kind of lost they're losing the mental battle here massively. And Fulham are trying to capitalise. They've got a free kick on the far right side here, Fulham. Good bit of height in there, a Wooby, and the 2 centre backs as well. Sessegnon and Lukic over this free kick. Lukic, right-footed, takes it. Overhead kick attempt. That was audacious. Didn't quite get anything on it there, Rodrigo Muniz. As a Wooby fizzes it back in. Flick back across. Headed away by De Ligt, but the flag was up against Kenny Tete. Free kick to Man United. See this again from Lukic. And it's Rodrigo Muniz who tries the overhead kick. He did a decent attempt at it. He just needed to get a touch on the ball. He measured up for it well. Got no contact on it though. Last minute of the first half here at Craven Cottage. And don't forget, tomorrow we round off our Match Week 2 coverage of their Game of the Week at St James's Park tomorrow night, 8 o'clock on the Monday night, as Newcastle host Liverpool. Here comes Alex Iwobi for Fulham again. Sessegnon down the left side. Back inside to Sander Berge. Fulham certainly the team that are having the better of it. Bassi with a cross. And Dorgu left it. And that's going to allow Josh King to pick it up on the right side here. Back inside to Castagna. Nice give and go. Anderson in the box, holding up to it well. Tete with a whip ball in. Up and away by Ahmad, but Man United unable to get it away from their own box at the minute. Anderson, Iwobi. Fulham fans feel they can get something here as Sessegnon's cross, blocked by Ahmad. It will be a Fulham corner. And we will have 2 additional minutes at the end of the first half here. First half which Fulham are ending the better of the 2 teams. Can they use that momentum to give them a scoreline advantage? Sasa Lukic from the corner here, left hand side, Already seen it cause issues for Bayern Deer already for Man United. Whip ball in this time. It's back post again. It's back across. It's still alive. It's cleared off the line. And then the shot again blocked from Muniz. Complete and utter chaos as Fulham get a throw down the right side again. Again, it's round the back post. Keeper's in no man's land again. Flicked by Anderson, kept back in. It's then flicked back in. Somebody takes a shot, blocked. Falls for Muniz, who then has a shot, and it's blocked again by the amount of bodies in there. Kenny Teddy takes this throw. Held up by Berger. Tete will just give it back to Anderson, who will fizz it into the box. Up and away by De Ligt. Bassi wins the header, but doesn't keep the ball as Mike flicks it forward. Nicely chested down by Sessegnon. And Alex Iwobi will just settle it back to his goalkeeper in Bernd Leno. Leno not wanting to give up on one last attacking chance of the half as Lenny Yoro forced into a good header. Header again from Yoro. Plays it off to his captain Fernandez. Now Man United on the move. Mounts bundled over by Castagna. And a free kick to Man United will pretty much round off the half, we would expect. We'll see. This free kick should be the last action of the first half. We'll have a lot to talk about at half-time. All the action of this first half, plus all of what we've seen across the weekend so far. And a quick look ahead to tomorrow night's game between Newcastle and Liverpool as well, to come at half-time, so do stay with us. Bruno Fernandes to take this free kick then. Last, surely, action of the half, as Man United taking their time. Told to go by the referee, Chris Kavanagh. Fernandes, right-footed, fizzes towards the box. Up and away at the back post, and there's the half-time whistle. A first half where both have drawn a blank. Man United had the golden opportunity, though, from the penalty spot, but their captain, Bruno Fernandes, couldn't convert. Calvin Bassey was the one that gave away that penalty. But in the end, no damage done to Fulham or Man United at the break. It was a tetchy end of the half for Man United, who kind of lost their way a little bit after that penalty miss. Bayern Deers looked a little bit frail at times as well in his own 6-yard box. It is looking like a very tentative affair that could go either way. Half-time at Craven Cottage. It's Fulham 0, Manchester United 0. We'll be back for the analysis when we come back. Sure, one last kick. This is going to be it. This is the moment. Vicario kicks this. And Liverpool are there. Liverpool are Premier League champions. And there it comes. Crystal Palace, for the very first time in their history, are FA Cup winners. Oh, he's found the net. Oh, what a goal. Kvaratskhelia is through, wants to add a fourth, and does so. Ahmad, oh my goodness me. That is absolutely unbelievable. Rice again. Oh! You thought he couldn't beat the first one. He's gone and bettered it. Another whip ball in. The header is in by Virgil van Dijk. Incredible. Welcome back to Premier League Live, half-time at Craven Cottage in our second game of the day. It is Fulham 0, Manchester United 0 at the break, and you got to say it was a very drama-filled first half, really, despite there being no goals. But both teams certainly not for the want of trying in that first half. And you got to say, a very intriguing affair, to say the very least. We'll analyse the game in a moment, but let's have a look and see what's happened across the weekend so far. Chelsea were 5-1 winners at West Ham on Friday night. West Ham took the lead in that game, but it was all Chelsea from then on in, and some torrid defending from Graham Potter's team means they go 2 games without a win, and just 1 goal scored from their first 2 games, 8 conceded, which is a new club record for West Ham United. It was to be not a great start to the season at home for Manchester City either, failing to score against Tottenham yesterday lunchtime. 2 goals from Spurs, from João Palhinha scored the second and Brennan Johnson with the first, meant it was a second consecutive win away at Manchester City for Tottenham in the league for the first time in 15 years, and they kept a clean sheet in both of those games. Speaking of clean sheets, it was a clean sweep for home teams from 3 o'clock onwards yesterday. Bournemouth 1-0 winners at home to 10-man Wolves. The only goal coming in the first 4 minutes of the game, Marcus Tavernier with a winning goal. Brentford were 1-0 winners against Aston Villa. New signing Dango Ouattara scored the winner, in which another Villa side who'd drawn a blank for the second week in a row. And Burnley got off the mark with their first win of the season as they won by 2-0 against the Sunderland side, who were brought back down to earth after their wonderful opening weekend victory. And Arsenal made easy work of newly promoted side Leeds United in the end after Leeds' fantastic opening weekend victory against Everton, and with that late penalty, it was Arsenal who humbled them on the day. 2 goals from Urian Timber, a goal from Bukayo Saka, and of course 2 goals from their new star striker Viktor Gyökeres, sealed a 5-goal thriller for Arsenal. Then earlier this afternoon, Crystal Palace won, Nottingham Forest won was the scoreline at Selhurst Park. There's been a lot of talk and action between those two over the summer off the field, but when they came to the pitch, they couldn't be separated. Either team drawing 1-1. Crystal Palace scored the opener in the first half. Ismaila Sarr with a goal, but Callum Hudson-Odoi's goal in the second half cancelled that one out, and it meant they would leave with a point apiece. And also earlier this afternoon in our feature game, Everton in their new stadium claimed a famous season opening win there at the Hill Dickinson Stadium. 2 goals in that one for them, a 2-0 victory, both set up by Jack Grealish. You got to say, Iliman Ndiaye, the man who scored the first goal in the new stadium, and the second goal scored by James Garner to seal the deal for David Moyes' team. And a pretty poor display from Brighton overall, failing to score. And they've just got 1 point from their opening 2 games. And at half-time here, it's Fulham 0, Man United 0. But let's get to the detail of this game then. And really, the big moment came with the penalty that none of us really noticed. I certainly didn't notice from the first off, but when the referee was called to the monitor, we seen it again, and it was clearly a penalty. I mean, Calvin Bassey, he's got Mason Mount on his left side. He grabs him and throws him round to his right side to the ground like a bag of rubbish, and it's definitely a foul. It's definitely a penalty. VAR told the referee to come and have a look. He did, and he pointed to the spot. And then all this drama ensues, a bit stupidity ensues, in that Bruno Fernandes puts the ball down, then the referee's going around, as he does so, to check for encroachment, which he has to do, and they just kind of accidentally collide with each other a little bit. The referee must apologise right away, but then Bruno Fernandes gets very upset with that. All of a sudden, he lifts the ball up, decides to walk away a little bit from the penalty spot, and you think, really? What was that all about? And he got himself inside his own head there, Bruno Fernandes, and he absolutely skied the penalty that really would have been a great chance for Man United in that one. And then Casemiro had a weird moment where he dived, and then Bruno Fernandes stood holding on to the ball, trying to give out instructions to his team, and he lost the ball. So a lot of late moments in that half where Man United lost their concentration, but once again they started really well. Matheus Cunha with a couple of early chances that could have given United the lead. A ball from Bayern Deer that forced a good save out of Bernd Leno. He hit the post as well. He fired over the bar, so Cunha was bright in the first half. And then one thing that wasn't bright for Man United, similar to last week, Altay Bayern Deer from these corners, you get out-muscled time and time again. And it's an issue that Man United need to sort out, and fast. Because, as I said in that first half, teams are going to keep doing it. If they think they're going to get a benefit out of that, they're going to keep doing it. They're going to keep pressuring the goalkeeper. They're going to keep trying to hit him and to put him under pressure and make him try and muscle for the ball and put him under pressure. And he's going to fail because it looks really awkward when he does it. Really awkward when he's trying to get towards the ball. But, as I said, a first half where neither side have really, no damage is done. But, of course, the big headline moment, Bruno Fernandes, so often good from penalties. Not good on that occasion. Absolutely skied it. And that has them thinking what can go wrong, what can go right for them in this one. But a long way still to go for that to possibly change. Indeed. And Bruno Fernandes, who scored so much for Man United last season, 19 goals and 18 assists in 57 matches for Man United last season in all competitions, including 8 Premier League goals and 10 Premier League assists for them last season. So that was a goal and an assist every 2 games for Bruno Fernandes, which is a very good return. Very, very good return for an attacking midfielder. But so far, after 135 minutes, they're being drawn a blank, Man United. And Fulham, they've only had a last-minute equaliser that has opened the scoring for them. So both sides struggling to find the net, but we'll see if they can turn that around. And Fulham had some good chances as well in that first half, some good opportunities. The long shot from Alex Iwobi that was saved by Bayindir. Josh King's effort where he made the run in behind. A lovely ball by Sessegnon. And they've made some good runs in the wide areas, Fulham, with their fullbacks in Castagna down one end and Sessegnon down the other. They've played really well in those moments, Fulham. But so far, neither side have found the nets. And the possession, the stats, all very, very similar between the two teams at half-time. Right, quickly, before the second half gets underway, a reminder for you that we do have that huge game at tomorrow night, of course, between Newcastle and Liverpool. That's our game of the week for you. That is our big game of the week. We will do some pre- and post-match analysis a little earlier than usual on those games. Kick-off tomorrow night is at 8 o'clock from St James's Park, and all the drama between those two that has progressed over the summer. The Alexander Isak saga that continues to rumble on. We'll talk all about that tomorrow night, and whether it could change after the game between the two clubs tomorrow. Is there a change in stance? If Liverpool put the big money on the table, will there be a change in Newcastle's stance? They're still in talks with Brian to try and sign Johan Vesa from Brentford, as well as some other players. So we'll see what comes of that, if they can get replacements in. But at the minute, it doesn't seem like there's going to be any movement on Alexander Isak. Possibly going elsewhere. It seems like he will be staying put at Newcastle. But that big game tomorrow night, Liverpool with that win on the opening night against Bournemouth, a big win. Their attacking players on show, needing some late goals to win that game. Liverpool on the opening Friday night of the season, and Newcastle drawing a blank without Alexander Isak, who won't be involved tomorrow night at all for Newcastle. Eddie Howe said that in his pre-match press conference for the game on Thursday. So he has confirmed that, and they struggled to find the net against 10-man Aston Villa last week, Newcastle, without Alexander Isak. But of course, they still have a lot of attacking quality, and they've strengthened in the last few days as well, bringing in some players. So we'll talk all about that tomorrow on our second game of the week of the season. But half-time here at Craven Cottage this Sunday afternoon, in our second of our Premier League double headers this Sunday afternoon. It is 0-0 between Fulham and Manchester United. Not many away sides have scored this weekend. Only Nottingham Forest, Chelsea and Tottenham have scored away from home. Only 3 sides. Can Man United get their first goal of the season away from home at Craven Cottage? We will see if they can try and convert what will be a point into maybe 3 points. Or can Fulham do that? We'll find out. Both are still seeking their first win of the season. We'll see if they can get it when we come back in just a couple of minutes. Do stay with us. Your one last kick. This is going to be it. This is the moment. Vicario kicks this. And Liverpool are there. Liverpool are Premier League champions. And there it comes. Crystal Palace, for the very first time in their history, are FA Cup winners. Oh, he's found the net. Oh, what a goal. Kvaratskhelia is through, wants to add a fourth, and does so. Ahmad, oh my goodness me. That is absolutely unbelievable. Rice again. Oh! You thought he couldn't beat the first one. He's gone and bettered it. Another whip ball in. The header is in by Virgil van Dijk. Incredible. Welcome back to LFS, half-time in the game here on Premier League Live. It's Fulham 0, Manchester United 0. Second half on the way in just a moment. Don't forget though, as I've already told you, our game of the week is tomorrow night, Monday night, to round off match day 2 of the Premier League season. And that kicks off tomorrow, 8 o'clock, Newcastle taking on Liverpool. Right, the second half here at Craven Cottage is going to be on the way in just a moment. Don't forget about that. Big second half. Both sides, as I said, looking for their first wins of the season. And Man United still looking for their first goal of the season. And we'll see if they can produce that after Bruno Fernandes's golden opportunity to do that in the first half from the penalty spot. He missed it completely. And don't forget to like, subscribe and turn on post notifications if you haven't done so already. We're on the road to 30,000. We're less than 1,000 away from that now. So thank you very much. If you can help us out, that would be greatly appreciated. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. Right, the Man United players are out in the second half. And Bruno Fernandes is having a chat with the referee. He's probably still complaining about that little bump that they had between each other. But, I mean, really, is it that deep of an issue? No. That's what I say. It's not. But they move, and we move, and we're almost ready for all 22 players to get moving for the second half. What do we think this one's gonna? What way is this gonna go? Do you think? Let us know in the chat as we get back underway here at Craven Cottage. Andy says, I give up with FPL. Now I lose 2 points for a penalty miss. Yeah. I did well with Daniel Munoz. He's the only player I have in my fantasy team today from today's games. I have Wirtz and Salah, the other two players that have still to play for me in my fantasy team. I'm not doing incredibly well, but Daniel Munoz got an assist today, so I'll take that. I'll take that. And we'll reassess going into next week. Here's Ryan Sessegnon down the left for Fulham. Goes for the early cross. Was a nice idea. Just a little bit heavy and too deep. And it goes out for a Man United throw on the far side, right towards the corner flag. Shaw from the throw-in sends it firing up the pitch. Fulham winning the physical battles there as De Ligt sends it up the pitch again. And chested and brought down by Calvin Bassey, who's under pressure from Ahmad, but Bassey plays it back to his keeper, and he loses his boot in the process there, Bassey. But he is alright to continue. Long kick there by Joachim Andersen, down the right flank. Shaw with work to do, he's under pressure from Castagna. Shaw does well to play it down the line. Nice work there between Casemiro and Bruno Fernandes. And now Ahmad. Man United want to refresh. They want to start the second half like the first half didn't really happen. Fresh, clean slate. Let's see. Here's Mount. Down the left-hand side comes Dorgu. Dorgu inside. Shot takes a deflection. Or the cross takes a deflection. And that'll go behind for a Man United corner. It's only their third corner of the game. Yeah, Dorgu cuts inside on his right, tries to lift the ball across towards Mbomo and Cunha in the box, and it deflects off a Fulham player. Goes behind for the Man United corner, which Bruno Fernandes will come over to take here in this left-hand side. As I said, only their third corner of the game. Right-footed delivery. Fernandes gets it onto the head of Casemiro, but he can't direct it towards goal. Kept alive by Ahmad. Now Mount back to Ahmad. Ahmad with the shot. Parried away right in front of him there by Bern Leno. And his defenders have to clear it. It's Rodrigo Muniz that actually clears it and puts it out for a Man United throw. That's much more positive from United. Keeping the pressure on from the corner and getting a good shot at goal. Lovely little combination there between Mount and Ahmad. And Ahmad has a decent shot, but it was well saved by Timothy Castagna. Bern Leno. And Wobie gives it away cheaply there to Cunha. But Casemiro dispossessed in the middle. Here's Josh King. He was challenged by Ahmad. Goes out for a Fulham throw. Well, Josh King played well last week for Fulham. Just 18 years old. Turns 19 in January. Played against Brighton last week. He scored in a club friendly against Al Ittihad in the pre-season, and also scored for the England under-19s in the under-19 European Championship group in a 5-5 draw with Germany back in June. Played a lot of the end of last season as well for Fulham in those games against Everton, Brentford and Man City, all to the end of the campaign. He's bedded in well. How's Josh King? Young Fulham player. Bassi. Out wide it goes to Iwobi. Nice little 1-2 link up with King. Back to Iwobi. Out wide to Sessegnon. Iwobi with a cross. Diving header cleared away by De Ligt, but Ahmad's beaten to it by Sessegnon. Yoro has to head away. Fernandes trying to clear it, or Casemiro, sorry, trying to clear it. Gives it away to Iwobi, who couldn't quite find a teammate. Yeah, that was a good battle down that side between the two teams, and Man United get their lines cleared. Fulham get the throw in from that. Fulham certainly ended the first half the better of the two teams. They had that mental kind of advantage, it seemed, over Man United. Man United hit a mental block towards the end of the first half. Here come Fulham again. Iwobi progressing the ball well. Gives it out wide to Sessegnon in space. Sessegnon with a cross. Keeper doesn't come for it. It's bottled around. And Fernandes clears it out of the box. Brought down by Sander Berge. This is better from Fulham again. Sessegnon. Berge. Right, Bassi to Iwobi. Nice vertical, intricate passes from Fulham. Down the right-hand side. Castagna beats past Dorgu. Gets the ball in from Lukic. Cleared it behind for a corner by Shaw. Really good progression from Fulham in the wide areas. Down the flanks. And on that occasion, they win a corner. And Man United are eyeing up some changes. Diogo Dalot and Benjamin Šeško are the two that are getting ready on the sidelines. So he's not seen much of the second half so far, Ruben Amorim. But he already wants to make changes. Fulham corner then. Right hand side. Right footed out swinger. Flicked on! And headed wide by Joachim Andersen, who feels that he didn't get a last touch on that. And he wanted another corner. And Joachim Andersen's just going to be called over by the referee here. We'll see it again. Oh, yeah, it's Luke Shaw. That comes off Luke Shaw. That's definitely a corner. I can see why Joachim Andersen was frustrated, but if I'm honest, the assistant really couldn't see from that side because Joachim Andersen was blocking Shaw, and the referee didn't spot it either. But it's not a surprise that he's not happy with that, Joachim Andersen. Right, double change for Man United. It's going to see Casemiro coming off, and also Benjamin Šeško's coming on along with Diogo Dalot, but Casemiro's one off. Who's the other one that's gone off for Man United? We'll wait and see when it comes up. Ahmad. So Ahmad and Casemiro off, and Benjamin Šeško and Diogo Dalot on. So Dalot will obviously go to right wing back. But what way do they work it out? Maybe Mount drops deeper alongside Fernandes and then the front three. Well, here come Man United with that front three. Cunha, well blocked out there by Castagna. And Tete trying to get it away, and he gets the block off Dorgu. And that goes out for a Fulham throw. Well, Benjamin Šeško, a real star for the present and the future. Here's Kenny Tete. Anderson back to Leno. Leno sends it flying up the field. Flicked on by Muniz. Lovely little flick by Josh King, and he's broken behind here. King's one-on-one. He's brought down by Lenny Yoro. There's a fabulous challenge by Yoro. And Josh King did really well there. Here's Iwobi. Josh King did beautifully there. Good hold-up play by Rodrigo Muniz, and then the skill from Josh King to just flick it over the top of the Man United defence and then get on to it, make a pass to himself. Here he is off the back of Yoro again. And that time that ball was just skidding past him. Lenny Yoro's had a tough task of it against that man, Josh King. He has a lovely flick-on header by Rodrigo Muniz. And then King just flicks it with his right foot over the top of Yoro, gets him behind him. And Yoro does well to battle with him, get back and make a very good last-ditch challenge. Because that was, if he timed that wrong, he would have been in bother there, Lenny Yoro. But he timed it perfectly. Castagna in a foot race with Shaw. Shaw wins that battle, and Altay Bayindir sends it flying. Anderson with a kick forward. And up in the air it goes from De Ligt. It's not confidently dealt with. Shaw's got one to deal with here, and he heads it out for a Fulham throw. They're under the cosh a little bit here, Man United. Not able to confidently clear their lines and keep it clear of their defenders. For a long period of time, all three of their back three has been in action in the last few seconds. As Fulham take this throw in quickly. Tete's delivery from the right hand side. It's just over hits, and Iwobi was chasing, but it's too quick for him, and it goes out for a throw to Man United on the far side. Come on, Fulham. Rings around Craven Cottage. The home fans know they've got Man United exactly where they want them in the minute. They're winning the physical battle, they're winning the tactical battle, they're winning the mental battle. They just haven't been able to find the back of the net yet, Fulham. That's where it is, and that is exactly what I mean about a mental battle. Bruno Fernandes sends a hot potato pass, or is it Mason Mount? One of the two of them pays a hot potato pass back to Luke Shaw, who's got no chance of getting that one. And on his heels, and it goes behind for a cheap corner to Fulham. And Ruben Amorim cannot believe what he's been watching. Looks to the ground in sheer disbelief as Sasa Lukic comes over to take Fulham's 7th corner of the game. Let's see what we can get out of this from Manchester, or from Fulham, from this corner. If Man United can get it away. He can't watch. Right-footed delivery. Flicked on. And Altay Bayindir comes and claims. I think a United defender did get something to that. And they do deal with that corner. Here comes Diogo Dalot. De Ligt. Just shows you how bad Man United must be from set pieces that their manager can't even bear to watch them defend a free kick, or defend the corner. I mean, they have to be training them on the. They have to be doing it on the training ground. They have to be. There's no way they're not training how to defend to defend corners and set pieces. That's a lovely little ball there by Cunha, and here's Dalot with a cross, blocked by Iwobi. It goes behind for a Man United corner, which gets a cheer from the crowd in that corner where the Man United fans reside. And Brian Mbomo is over to try and take this one. Those fans know their team is in a battle at the minute. They know all about fine margins. Man United have a corner here. Brian and Burmo over to take it. Right hand side. And some more extra height in there. Benjamin Sheshko amongst them. Can Mbomo pick one of his teammates out? Left-footed delivery. Right in the back. The header is bouncing on and in. And it's Lenny Yoro that rises the highest. And it's Fulham who concede from a corner. And Mbomo's delivery. Yoro's header. And all confusion and disbelief from the Fulham crowd. And the Fulham players. Whatever was meant to happen didn't happen, and Manchester United, after being under the cosh for a lot of this second half so far, it is they who take the lead from a set piece nonetheless. Again, this corner's whipped in. It's the back post, and it's really awful. It's a header from Yoro. It deflects so horribly off Munith. It was going wide, and Munith, it comes off his back. It wrong foots the keeper. It's what you call a fluky goal, but they all count. And when you need them the most, that's when you need your luck. And on that occasion, Man United got that bit of luck. And Lenny Yoro will be, at the moment, credited with the goal. But I think that might be a bit of an own goal. Fulham 0, Manchester United 1. Well, Marco Silva's complaining to the fourth official about maybe a foul in there, but nothing that I could see. And that is what's going to get Man United up. They must have some sort of omen here at Craven Cottage. They have won on their last 8 trips here. They've never won at any club 9 times in a row away from home. That would change if this scoreline stays as it is. And now it's given them a little bit of a lift now, Man United. Here's Shaw. Down the left-hand side comes Dorgu. Now they want to try and chase after a second goal. Dorgu. Off the left-hand side. Cuts it back for Shaw. Dorgu again. Back to Shaw again. And now Bruno Fernandes. As we are about to hit the hour mark here at Craven Cottage. Well, Marco Silva has got options off the bench if he wants them. Well, here's a ball in behind for Dallo. He's got a bit of defending to do here, and Sessegnon does just enough to see the cross come into the hands of his goalkeeper. And now it's all in Fulham's hands to try and overcome this deficit now. So they're playing nice football for a second there. Yoro comes sliding through. He was a fair challenge, says the referee. It looked just about okay to me. It was late, but it looked just okay in my opinion. Here's Sessegnon switching the ball out to the right side. Brought down here by Castagna and chipped in by Tete. And the flick-on header is over the bar by Rodrigo Munith. Decent response from Fulham. See this on Yoro. Yeah, he just got in there in time. Yeah, it was it. It could have been dangerous. It could have been a real horrible one. But he defended the ball. He won the ball fairly and squarely. And there wasn't a foul in there. Right. I said about Marco Silva and his bench. Well, he's going to go to that bench now. It's Anthony Robinson and Harry Wilson, who are the two that are ready and waiting to enter the fray here. Timothy Castagna is going to be replaced by Anthony Robinson. And Ryan Sessegnon is going to be replaced by Harry Wilson. Or the other way about, you know what I mean. Harry Wilson's going to be replaced, replacing Castagna, and Sessegnon is the coming off for Robinson. And Robinson will go at left back, and Harry Wilson will go down the right hand side where Castagna was targeting. Bayendir takes the goal kick. Header won by Berger. Held up by Rodrigo Munith, but no one around him to help out. Wanted a foul, but Nothing in that. Shaw. Sheshko lays it off well. Dorgu. Mount back to Shaw and all the way back to Altai Bayendir. Oh, they've given it away there, Man United. A bit of confusion at the back. And the ball fizzed towards the box. Munith to try and head it. It's fallen to Iwobi, whose shot was blocked. And now Robinson with his first involvement. He ushers it out for a Fulham throw. We know what he can offer in an attacking sense for Fulham, Anthony Robinson. Probably one of the best attacking fullbacks in the league last season was Anthony Robinson. Certainly in terms of his output numbers, in terms of assists, and his quality of his delivery. Here's Lukic. Nice little flick by Harry Wilson. Battling, and he lost out on that occasion. And last touch came off Harry Wilson. Will be a United throw. Well, Harry Wilson was in a list last week that we looked at. Rodrigo Munith, the most goals from as a sub since the start of last season. Harry Wilson was second on that list, and he's on as a sub here this evening for Fulham. So he loves to come on as a sub, and we'll see if he can use that super sub quality to try and give Fulham something to work with here in the final 26.5 minutes. But it was the man who was the hero for Fulham last week, Rodrigo Munith, that deflects Lenny Yoro's header into his own net. And that is what has given Man United the lead. At the minute it goes down as a Yoro goal. Whether it will be changed, whether Yoro's header would have went on target or not, looked to me like it was going wide, but it's a bit indecisive, or inconclusive, shall I say, as Leno comes flying out for that one and gathers comfortably. Lays it out wide here to Kenny Tete. Breaking up the field. Out to Harry Wilson. Wilson. Bassey to Iwobi. Out to Robinson. Try to play it inside. It challenge there on the Fulham player, but again, Ferris is the referee. Just about on the line there for me. Sheshko was beaten to the ground, but a little bit sloppy from both teams, but the ball had gone out of play there from Lenny Yoro. So that's a Man United, or a Fulham throw, sorry, down the left side here. Robinson. Chested down by Iwobi. Given away, although Robinson wins it back, and Josh King battling. Robinson couldn't keep it in play there. It's like hot potato again between the two teams. Now they want to keep the ball. With 25 to go. Man United have that narrow advantage with their first goal of the season. That will lift them all the way from 17th, where they started today, and that would lift them all the way up to 9th for Man United if they win this. And that was a nice attempt at a crossfield ball there from Sheshko, but he just overhit it, and Dorgu couldn't take it down. Well, points from losing positions. Fulham know how to come back into games. 22 points picked up from losing positions. Third in terms of that on the Premier League rankings from last season. Liverpool and Brighton were the only two teams to have picked up the same or more points than Fulham when losing in a game of football. So they've got that comeback ability. Do Fulham. Can they use it to effect here at Craven Cottage to change this outcome of this game? Switch ball out to Anthony Robinson, who lofts it in behind, low and hard, towards Josh King, who picks it up well, rolls it back to Robinson. Early cross, cleared away by Dallow at the near side, and now Mbomo picks it up. Mbomo trying to dribble his way through, lays it off to Fernandez, who will swing it across, just away from Sheshko there by the Fulham defence, and sliding in was Lukic to win it back. Berger flicks it on to Iwobi. Space here for Fulham. Iwobi put under pressure by Shaw. That was smart from Luke Shaw. He knew Iwobi was going to try and go around the outside of him, and he overhit the pass towards Harry Wilson. And that goes out for a Man United throw, although they've given it away and committed a foul since that throw-in. Well, Fulham have lost each of their final 3 games at Craven Cottage last season. Marco Silva has never previously lost 4 consecutive home league games in his entire managerial career. If Man United keep this scoreline, that will change today. Here is Iwobi. Flicks it in behind. Josh King's ran the cross. Blocked by Fernandez. Will be a Fulham corner. Well, as I was saying about Rodrigo Muniz has scored the most goals as a substitute in the Premier League since the start of last season, 7. Fulham's Harry Wilson is second on that list. He has scored 5 goals as a substitute since the start of last season. So a corner here to Fulham, a quarter of the game to go. Fulham 0, Man United 1. Ugarte's getting ready for United on the sideline, but Fulham will take this corner first. We suspect their 8th corner of the game, and it's Lukic over it. Right, left-hand side, right-footed in swinger, and it goes up and away at the front post, and Iwobi on the volley, just over the bar. Yeah, again, Iwobi got a chance like that in the first half, and he forced a good save out of Altay Bayindir. Again, the second phase of a corner. He was on the edge of the box, no one anywhere near him. This time, he tries to go with the volley, the half volley, and in the end, it goes sailing over the crossbar just about. Change here then for Man United. Mason Mount, his race is run. He's coming off, and he's going to be replaced by Manuel Ugarte. Gets an applause from the crowd, and he's put in a good performance, Mason Mount, in midfield for Man United. And Manuel Ugarte on in his place. Bayindir fires it out to the left channel. Up and one by Anderson. Brought down by Lukic, who tries to roll it in behind. Flick it in behind, sorry. Shaw under pressure by Muniz, and Shaw and Cunha do well at getting it back to De Ligt, who ushers it back to his goalkeeper here for Man United. Just over 20 minutes to go. Fulham with all the work to do. Man United with a narrow advantage from Lenny Yoro's header from a corner. Yoro flicks forward. Well defended by Anderson. Stepping in was Ugarte with fresh legs against Iwobi. Although couldn't link it up there. And Andy Robinson going back towards his own goal. Puts it out of play. Trying to get around Brian and Bomo there. The Fulham defender. Well, Brian Bomo hasn't been massively involved in the second half so far. He's not had many touches in the second half. That's down to Fulham trying to closely mark him. A lot more than they did in the first. Right, more Fulham substitutes at foot here. Rodrigo Muniz and Josh King are off. And Raul Jimenez and Emil Smith-Rowe are on for Fulham. So all their main attacking players that were on the bench are on. Adama Traore is the only other real one that can come off the bench as an attacker. That's 3 big attacking options for Fulham. Harry Wilson, Raul Jimenez and Emil Smith-Rowe all on, along with Anthony Robinson, who was their 4th sub. With 20 minutes to go to try and change the outcome of this game. Here is Cunha. Shaw. Out wide it goes to Dorgu. There's Cunha. Back to Dorgu. Gonna move it quickly. And Shaw there, a bit unforced. Put the ball out of play. Down that sideline to trying to find Matheus Cunha. And it's gone out for a Fulham throw. Well, Fulham have won just 1 of their last 19 Premier League games against Man United, drawn 3 and lost 15 of those games. And that was when they beat them 2-1 at Old Trafford back in 2024. As we mentioned a little earlier, that's their only win in the last 19. But here they come in behind here. Here's a good clean run for Raul Jimenez. If he tries the ball across, and it's cleared away by Dorgu. I think he went a bit early there, did Jimenez. One back the well by Iwobi. Now Robinson, Iwobi again, goes in for the cross. Jimenez leaves it, and it's bundled in! And it's Emil Smith-Rowe with probably his first touch of the game. And Fulham are back on terms. Talk about super subs at Craven Cottage. They love them here. They come off the bench and they always produce. And Emile Smith-Rowe is the latest Fulham substitute to score. Both of their goals this season so far, Fulham, have come from substitutes. It comes from Raul Jimenez's moment. It's cleared away by Dorgu. It's a little bit loose as they try and move it forward, Man United. It's given away to Iwobi. He links it up here on this left side with Robinson. Back to Iwobi. Just lifts it into the box. Jimenez tries to flick it. Both him and his marker don't get there in Delict. And it bounces down and he toe pokes it, Emile Smith-Rowe. He snuck in behind. Toe pokes it past Altai Bayindir, who was completely wrong-footed. And that has given Fulham the leveller. That's got the crowd up here again. It's got Marco Silva celebrating. Fulham 1, Manchester United 1. Handball there from Raul Jimenez. Free kick to Man United. So back to terms. It's a great goal by Emile Smith-Rowe. And it was one of those much needed goals for Fulham. They really did need it. They know they can score late goals. This late equaliser wasn't quite as late as last week's, but it did come from a substitute and it did level the game for Fulham. Now, with a lot more time remaining, we're back to square one. Both sides still looking for their first win of the season. Here's Matheus Cunha as Man United want to up the ante and try and get back in front again. Dorgu, Fernandez, nice shot. They've got a Fulham crowd that are noisier than they were 2 to 3 minutes ago to contend with now. Yoro, Ugarte, out wide it goes here on the left hand side by Shaw. And Dorgu goes down, getting a foul there. Free kick to Man United. Harry Wilson, the player deemed to have fouled Patrick Dorgu. Yeah, he just left a foot in on him there. Did Harry Wilson? A little bit late, but nothing too malicious. Well, Man United have won just 3 of their last 23 Premier League away games against London sides, drawn 5, lost 15, though all of those victories have come against Fulham. They love this stadium. They love this team to play against. And Burmo over this free kick for United, wide left. And Burmo, left-footed, whips it towards the box. Anderson gets the first contact, still not away though. Sheshko puts it back in the mix. Yoro trying to battle Dallo with a shot, flies over the bar. Ruben Amorim watches on, paces up and down his technical area. What can his team conjure up in the final quarter of an hour here at Craven Cottage to try and keep that wonderful winning run away at Fulham going and get their first 3 points of the season? That's what they want to try and do here. Fulham at the minute are going to deny them as it stands. Leno to send it flying long. Header one by Jimenez. Now Iwobi brings it down. It's Fulham in the ascendancy here. Anthony Robinson rolls it in behind for Jimenez. Back to Iwobi. Flicks it into the box. Wilson making a run. They're dragging the Man United defence everywhere here. Wilson tries to cut it back across. Lukic just about keeps it alive. The movement was sending the Man United defence haywire there for a second. They didn't know who to follow, who to chase, who to close down. And they do survive it for the moment, Man United. Here's Anthony Robinson. So Smith-Rowe. Goes all the way back to Leno. Cunha trying to close it down and Leno sending it long. And Jimenez making himself a physical presence and he gets the better of Delict and the ball falls here to Smith-Rowe. He's got Iwobi. Robinson on the overlap. Iwobi rolls it in behind Jimenez. Is he offside? He gets it across. That was a good cross and there was an option at the back post. But Jimenez, I think, was offside anyway when the ball was played to him by Iwobi. We'll see it again. It was tight. But he just drifts offside. He does. He tries to hold his run, but he just offside. It was a decent effort again by Fulham. Not able to convert though. Well, Man United's last trip here to Craven Cottage was in round 23 of last season on the 26th of January. They won 1-0 on that day. And Lisandro Martinez, another defender, another centre-back, scored the goal for them that day. And that was enough to get the victory over Fulham. Funnily enough, at the last 5 games, excluding the FA Cup game, the last 5 league games, hold on a second, 6 of the last 7 league games, sorry, 7 of the last 8, apologies, I do apologise, 7 of the last 8 league games between these two have ended with the winning team winning by a 1-goal margin, so that no one's really, between these two over the last 7-8 meetings, ever really taken command of this game. The last time they drew was at Old Trafford in a 1-1 draw back in May of 2021. It ended at a draw. Edinson Cavani scored for Man United that day, and Joe Bryan scored for Fulham. And on that day, in the dugout for both teams, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Scott Parker were the two managers that day. That was the last time these two drew in the Premier League. Here is Dalot trying to link up with Mbermo. That's well shielded out from Dalot. Goal kick to Fulham. Well, as I told you about Fulham's home record against Manchester United, their last league win at home against Man United came back in December 2009 when they won 3-0 on that day. That was a good almost 16 years ago since they last picked up a home victory against United. The last point they picked up against United at home was in August of 2010 in a 2-2 draw. But as I said, the last 8 games here at Craven Cottage in the league between the sides have all ended in Man United's favour. 5-0, 1-0, 3-1, 3-0, 2-1, 2-1, 1-0, 1-0. Here's Iwobi. Back to Bassi. 10 minutes to go here at Craven Cottage. Fulham 1, Man United 1. Here's Jimenez getting a good control of the ball. He's stolen away from him. Emil Smith-Rowe lays it round the corner to Harry Wilson. Off to his left. Lays it back to Lukic. Tries to go out wide with Tete, who wins the challenge cleanly. And Tete chips it into the box. Away by Ugarte. Now Berger. Tete again. Smith-Rowe has the ball stolen away from him on the edge of the box there. And Man United want to break out. But well dealt with by Joachim Andersen. And now Lukic brings it down. Again the crowd are up. They feel their team on the front foot, on the attack, and wanting to try and win this game of football now. Here's Sander Berge. Flicks it into the box, comes out the other side for Robinson, who rolls it in behind just too much to try and find Emil Smith-Rowe. And that goes for a goal kick. Well, we said about Fulham's home record at the end of last season, losing the last 3 at home. In terms of their home record across last season for Fulham, they didn't have one of the best. They were quite mid-table at home last season. 7 wins, 5 draws and 7 defeats in their 18 home games last season, or 19 home games last season obviously. 27 goals scored, 30 conceded, and won 26 points at home. That ranked 11th in the Premier League for home form, or home points gathered, did Fulham. Man United's away form, in comparison to that, was a lot worse. They won just 4 of their 19 away games last season. Man United losing 9 of those, drawing 6 and conceding 26 and scoring 21. 18 points they picked up away from home last season in 19 games. And they were ranked 16th in the Premier League. Only Tottenham and the 3 relegated teams had a worse away record than Man United last season. Right, back to the action today though, after all the reminiscing of last season and the stats talk. Back to what's to come in the last 7.5 minutes here at Craven Cottage. Man United taking the lead through Lenny Yoro's header from a corner. It took a deflection off Rodrigo Beneath. And then one of the Fulham substitutes, Emil Smith-Rowe, coming on and probably with his first action of the game, poking into the back of the Man United net to give Fulham the leveller. As they battle it back here, Fulham feel there was a foul. Referee will play advantage, and seeing there was no advantage, he's going to pull it back for a Fulham free kick here. That's good refereeing by Chris Kavanagh. Sander Berge, who was fouled, and then Fulham were told to play on, and there was no advantage that prevailed, so therefore the referee pulls it back for a free kick. Yeah, he was caught a little bit late there. Manuel Ugarte came stomping in, and he just left a little bit of his studs on the foot of Sander Berge there. Just accidental, but it was a foul. It will be. Bassey. Anderson. Back to Bernd Leno. Lays it out wide here to Kenny Tete. Fulham playing it nicely. Here's Sander Berge. Rolls it across to Alex Iwobi. He's got movement here. Iwobi bursting forward. Lays it out wide to Robinson. Robinson with the first time cross. Again, a little too high. But it will find Sasa Lukic here at the back post. Lukic, edge of the box, gives it to Tete, who got it across, blocked by Ugarte. One back by Tete, on the turn. Heavy touch. Lays it out wide to Sasa Lukic. Lukic, back to Tete. Now Wilson, nice little flick, finds Kenny Tete. He's got options, he cuts it back for Jimenez, who has the ball cleared away from him at the last second. And now pushing to win the ball was Anderson, but he committed a foul on Mateus Cunha in the process. And United want to get moving quickly as Dallo flicks over the top. And Mbeumo on the chase. Bassey gets the better of Mbeumo. And Mbeumo wanted a foul, but he's not going to get it. And we play on. With Fulham in possession again. Sasa Lukic. I've got to say, one of my favourite player names to ever say. Sasa Lukic. The way it's pronounced, it's really nice. Anthony Robinson to Alex Iwobi now. Again, Man United crowding the space. 5-2-3 out of possession, as has been the case for them for all of the game and what they want to play under Ruben Amorim. They want to be a 3-4-3 in possession, a lot more than out of possession. That was a battle for the ball there between Ugarte and Harry Wilson, and Man United come away with the ball. Here's Šeško. And a bit of tight space out there, and he's laid it off to Bruno Fernandes, who was dragged back there. And that's going to be a free kick to Man United and a yellow card coming out. That's going to be a yellow card to Sasa Lukic. Yeah. Šeško did well, actually, in a tight space to lay it off and find his captain, Bruno Fernandes, and then Lukic, when he knew Bruno Fernandes was going to get in behind, he certainly wasn't letting him get away from him. And on that occasion, he gets a free kick against him and a yellow card for his troubles there, Sasa Lukic. Dogu tried the cross from the left, blocked by Harry Wilson. That will be a Man United corner. And that's where they won the goal, where they got the goal to open the game. But the man who got the goal, Lenny Yoro, is going to be subbed here before this corner. Harry Maguire's coming on. And they're also going to make another change here in a minute. Man United, Luke Shaw's coming off. And we're going to see Aidan Heaven come on in his place. So a corner to come for United. They got Maguire, which adds an extra bit of height from this corner. They lose Lenny Yoro's height. And let's see what Bruno Fernandes can conjure up here. Fernandes, right-footed. Up in the air it goes. Punched away by Leno. Ugarte receives it. And Dorgu turns back towards the Fulham goal. Now lays it off to Cunha. Body still up there for Man United. Cunha goes across and Bassi has to clear it behind for the corner. He might have hurt himself in the process there. Bassi is helped back to his feet by centre-back partner Joachim Andersen, but it's an awkward one. Well, here comes Brian Mbeumo to take this corner on the right-hand side. It was his delivery that met the head of Lenny Yoro that came off the back of Rodrigo Muniz that went into the Fulham nets. Time for take two maybe for Man United here, if they can. Mbeumo delivers again. The header again! Oh! That's gone a whisker wide from Harry Maguire. On the field in what would have been his first touch. And he just put it a whisker away from finding the net. Just the wrong side of the post. All Bernd Leno could do was watch it. And it just sailed past the left post. Too close for comfort there for Fulham. They come away untouched. Ian says who fancies Fulham for the win. Well, we'll see. As I said, they had the third most points gained from losing positions last season. They've gained at least 1 point here. Could they gain all three? It's Man United trying to battle for the ball there with a player. It's Dorgu and Jimenez that were in each other's business. Jimenez wanting a foul for being dragged down by Dorgu, but the referee said no. He actually has retrospectively given something here. The referee is maybe just a throw-in. Ian says, think that Seshko wishes he went to Newcastle now. No crosses for him. He's been not had much service so far since coming onto the field. So far, Benjamin Seshko in the 53rd minute. That's a good 36 minutes ago. He's had very little of the action. So far, the United striker. Fulham take the throw in a tight space down the right here. Smith Rowe does well, finding Harry Wilson. Lays it away to Berger. And now it comes back out to Smith Rowe as there's two more players on the floor, one from each team down that right side. Here is Tete for Fulham. Wide to Berger, who was brought down by Dorgu, and that's going to be a free kick. Lukic was fouled. It's going to be a free kick to Fulham. Dorgu a little bit clumsily. Nowhere to go, Sasa Lukic, but back ways. And he just came right through the back of Sasa Lukic there. He catches him in the foot. It's a silly foul to give away. We're about to hit the 90-minute mark. How long is left in this game? Fulham had an added time equalising goal last week. They've 5 minutes to maybe try and find a added time winning goal this week. Could they? Could it be the late show from Fulham again? We'll see. Harry Wilson and Sasa Lukic over it as Lukic gets himself back to his feet from that foul. After he was fouled by Dorgu. Man United with everybody back. This is a crucial moment. Wilson with a left-footed delivery. Header down. It's not cleared away. And it's fizzed by Bruno Fernandes for Mbeumo to chase. And the pace of Anthony Robinson was there to beat Brian Mbeumo to it and put it out for the Man United throw. But that was risky. But Fulham just about had enough there to see off Brian Mbeumo. And from a moment where Fulham could have possibly threatened, Man United almost could have threatened as well. So Man United with this throw-in, they're going to go long. They're going to go with the long throw-in. And they've committed a good number of bodies in there now. That's a good 6 bodies in there. Long throw. Doesn't even reach any of those in red and black. It's cleared away by Fulham. Picked up again by Ugarte. Now Fernandes to Dalot. Dalot going for the cross. Dorgu's header flicked across. Away by Anderson. And then trying to win the ball there, Harry Wilson was brought down by Patrick Dorgu. Free kick to Fulham. So, 3.5 minutes of the 95 to go. Fulham 1, Manchester United 1. Well, the last 4 Premier League meetings between these two have seen a winning goal scored in the 78th minute or later. All 6 goals in meetings in the last 2 seasons have come in the second half. That's the same again today. And only one of 2 fixtures played across 4 games. Oh, Smith Rowe. Shot blocked, corner. This is only one of 2 fixtures played 4 times across the 23-24 and 24-25 seasons without a first half goal. Everton and West Ham. That was the nice stat that I mentioned yesterday. But they've seen a winning goal in the 70th minute or later in this fixture the last 4 Premier League meetings. Is there another one on the cards here tonight? And with 2.5 minutes of the added time to go, Fulham have a corner. Lukic over it. Can the corners come back to haunt Man United like they did last week? Or will they hang on in there? Lukic, right-footed. Flicked across. No one there to try and get onto the end of it. Sails all the way through. Anderson was the closest, but got no contact. Goal kick. See this again. Bayendir's got... Alta Bayendir's going nowhere again. I don't want to overanalyse him and be overcritical, but he's nowhere to be seen again there. 2 minutes to go. Dorgu picks it up high here for United. Here's Matheus Cunha, tracked by Harry Wilson. Cunha does well on the spin, whips it in, and Leno palms it away. He just had to do that, Bernd Leno, as there was 2 United players in the right place to try and score what would have been a winning goal. It's now United's turn to attack. 90 seconds to go. Can Man United do it here and win late and give Fulham a taste of their own medicine? Long throw into the box. Up and away the first time. Dorgu to flick it back in. And Bomo trying to go for the acrobatic effort. Completely missed it. And it goes behind for the goal kick. Last minute then. Incoming. A reminder for you, our game of the week between Newcastle and Liverpool is tomorrow, 8 o'clock on LFS. How long is there to go? Well, we've won less than a minute now of the 5 added. And is there time for one last moment for either team? Bernd Leno is to take this goal kick. It wouldn't be a bad point for Fulham. Long kick forward here. Header won by Man United, but Fulham will let that one roll for a throw-in on the right-hand side. They're not in a major hurry here, or Fulham, to take this. Kenny Tete to take the long throw. Down the right flank. Bouncing in behind. It's not completely dealt with just yet, but well shielded by Dorgu against Raul Jimenez, and that will be a Man United goal kick. Surely there's no time left. There isn't. There's the final whistle. A point apiece at Craven Cottage between these 2. It's the first time Fulham have picked up a point at home against Man United for 15 years. They went 8 straight home games without picking up a singular point against Man United. Man United's run has come to an end. Bruno Fernandes with a penalty miss in the first half could have given Man United the lead. They did take the lead when Lenny Yoro headed in off the back of Rodrigo Muniz to find the nets. But it was Emile Smith Rowe, another Fulham super sub, to score a late equaliser. Emile Smith Rowe, the man today, to poke it past Bayendir and to rescue Fulham a point. Final score here at Craven Cottage. It's Fulham 1, Manchester United 1. And let's have a look at our results from across the last 3 days of Premier League action. It finished West Ham 1, Chelsea 5, Manchester City 0, Tottenham 2, Bournemouth 1, Wolves 0, Brentford 1, Aston Villa 0, Burnley 2, Sunderland 0, Arsenal 5, Leeds United 0, Crystal Palace 1, Nottingham Forest 1, Everton 2, Brighton 0, and Fulham 1, Manchester United 1. Tomorrow night's game, as you can see, as you know, as we told you about, our game of the week is hotly anticipated. We're at St James's Park tomorrow night, under the lights, as Newcastle have their first home game of the season, and you couldn't write it if you tried. Liverpool at home is their fixture tomorrow, 8 o'clock on LFS. But that is it from us this Sunday afternoon. Everton off to the great start in the new stadium, and Fulham and Man United could not be separated. Another super sub from Fulham to rescue a point. For Man United, well, it didn't look great. They've only 1 point from their first 2 games. Are they going to find that first win? They have a tough task next week as well. And that Bruno Fernandes missed penalty is looming large. Thank you very much for watching. Thanks for your company. And we'll see you again tomorrow night for our Match Week 2 finale. Thanks. Bye-bye.